Dear entrepreneurs, it's Roberto, and today we're going to talk all about marketing yourself. Probably one of the most important things you can do. As many of you know, I emphasize marketing a lot, and it's something you guys see me do literally every day. You guys see me in Twitter every day interacting with you. You see me in Facebook every day posting content. You see me on YouTube constantly posting content. If you're on Periscope, you see my live streams. Facebook Live, you see my live streams. If you're following me on Instagram, you see the inspirational post and the 1-minute marketing videos. That seems overwhelming to the far majority of you. Many of you in the comments have expressed a concern that maybe I'm spreading myself thin and not focused enough on my business or things that make me money. And you couldn't be more wrong, but it's because you don't see the insides of it and you don't know my system. At least not yet anyway. You have to understand that even though I'm a solo entrepreneur, all of what I'm doing is reverse engineering what I would do as a big business and what I see the biggest businesses, the biggest creative companies in the world doing. I'm reverse engineering from Sony and Fuji and Adobe and Microsoft and Dell every single day instead of acting like, a one-man shop. I don't operate like a one-man shop. I operate like an agency. I operate like a larger media company. I operate like a tech company. I do those things because you don't get anywhere by operating from the perspective of just where you are right now, but instead where you want to be. And I need you guys to understand that. And part of that is learning what systems are going to allow you to do that, what's going to make it practical, what can you automate, what can you outsource, what can you batch. And again, if you're not showing up every day, you're leaving a lot of room open for your competition. I'm not telling you to market yourself in every single social media platform in every single day, because I don't think that's practical for you guys. But what you need to understand is, for me, it really works because with Twitter and the relationships that I've built in Twitter, I built some of my best networking relationships and great things that turned into friendships, things that turned into writing deals that added about 12, 15K a year to my pipeline, sponsorships that added several thousand to my pipeline and let me work with great companies and large brands. The ability to go and be press at conferences or even be a speaker at conferences, that was all related to Twitter. I've done thousands of dollars and sold thousands of dollars of one-on-one coaching through Periscope and now through Facebook Live. So showing up in live streaming, that's super important to me. I've also used some of that to grow my email list, which as a marketer, you guys should know, growing your email list is super important. YouTube, obviously there's several revenue streams tied to YouTube. It's also let me speak at conferences. It's let me get one-on-one coaching and consulting clients. It's let me get business relationships and corporate clients. There's a lot of value in me showing up in YouTube. So cutting these social media platforms out of my routine for me is not an option because it means leaving leverage and power on the table. And there's a lot of upside for me. It may not be practical for you though. You might need to focus on 2 or 3 instead of maybe 8. And you know what? You have to be self-aware enough to know that. But if you're gonna do multiple places, you have to have a system for it. And the thing is, I spend far less time doing this than most of you think in a micro way. But from a macro perspective, probably more than a lot of you. And I'm gonna show you that on my whiteboard right now. So this may or may not be exact, and this isn't necessarily every day, but I want you guys to understand something. This is a breakdown of how you can take about an hour and 5 minutes and you could be in multiple platforms. Snapchat is a 10-second video platform. Depending on how you want to use it, I use it mostly for direct messaging other people, but you could take 5 minutes out of your day and build a Snapchat story and put it out there. And the thing is, if you're using an app like Snapcrack or something like that, then you can upload content that you may have already done that was for Twitter or for Instagram. So you could actually double dip, and that could be fine depending on the context. Twitter, you could spend 10 minutes in Twitter. In addition to doing some automation, which will take no time at all, I challenge you. Twitter video is 30 seconds max. I challenge you to do something like question of the day video for 30 seconds, pin it to the top of your Twitter, and ask people to respond to you. I dare you to find 5 to 10 people to send a Twitter message video at and spend 10 seconds, 15 seconds a piece, either answering 10 people's questions in Twitter that are going through a problem that you are capable of solving, or just reaching out and telling them you want to connect. Facebook, you could shoot 5 Facebook videos Monday through Friday for the entire week in 10 minutes, and your whole week of Facebook video is done. You can do 1 minute something. I'm doing 1 minute marketing tips, and guess what? Those same 1 minute marketing tips I'm shooting for Facebook, I'm posting them in Instagram now that Instagram video is a minute long. And guess what? Later, I could repurpose those, post them to YouTube as super short form content, turn that into a series and get a lot out of it. Later, I could edit stuff from that into some kind of montage or reel, and it could be great. So those are opportunities to repurpose content, to double dip and spend even less time than I've outlined here on the whiteboard. So that's nuts. Periscope, you could live stream for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Do it wide format. You can upload that up to YouTube later. By the way, Periscope, uploading the replays since Catch.me shut down and sending out the archives of my Periscope streams in YouTube has been amazingly killer. What that has done is I went from having 1,200 followers in Periscope this year to having about close to 15,000 in a relatively short period of time, just by uploading the replays of my Periscope and directing people to follow there so they can ask me live questions and answers, live Q&A in Periscope, guys. So follow me at Roberto Blake there. I now have more followers in Periscope than I do in Twitter. And since you're supposed to usually siphon your Periscope following from your Twitter profile, that's nuts. So I have about as many people following me in Periscope as some of the leading people in Periscope, people like Zach Spuckler, people like my friend Amy Schmittauer, Subi Zimmerman. I have as many followers as them now in Periscope, and that's just insane. So you could do all these things. You have 10 minutes that you can throw at something else. Could be YouTube, could be Blab, could be anything. So I just gave you a real outline and framework for an hour of social media in a day. And by the way, you don't even need to do all of this every single day. With the way that I outlined this, you could do some of those things and you would have content in that one day that could last a week. Some of it, you could do it for the week and have content for the entire month. And in an hour, you've done that. So using that method, I could take an hour or 2 hours and set up most of my social media content for the entire month and show up either every day in most of those platforms or every week in the other ones where it's practical. Mostly doing video content. Isn't that insane? And then remember, some of that could be repurposed to YouTube and then grow my following exponentially in those smaller platforms. So that's killer. And I already outlined how this would make me money. So that's something you have to find out for your business. Does it make sense? Do you have an audience there? How do you reach them? So part of that is things that I talk about in my free ebook, the 7 points of personal branding if you're doing a personal brand. But if you're a business, there's still a lot of valuable nuggets in that you could extrapolate for the purposes of your business. Keep in mind, some of this is positioning for when I have products. I don't even have products yet, but this would be even more practical if I had products, because the call to action for the majority of this could direct people or even passively direct people to have an interest in buying my products. Right now, people can only hire me for services. People can hire me for coaching or consulting. People can hire me for creative services. People can hire me for marketing. People can hire me to speak. People can hire me to write. Like, that's pretty much what people can do. They can't buy a book. They can't buy a course. They can't buy a workshop from me right now. So if you consider the fact that in 6 months to a year as of the making of this video, so by the end of 2016, I will have products in the marketplace for people to buy, that having this leverage, having given all this upfront value, having built this following in social, means that I have a better chance of now converting what I need to when it goes to offering a product. Like when I do my video guide for video SEO, people who want to use that to market themselves using video, that's going to be a $99 to $150 guide with 3 to 6 hours of content, and it's going to be, streamlined. Guess what? I now have a huge audience that I can carve out in most of these platforms specific to people who want to utilize video that I can sell to. When I put out the print book, the Just Create Awesome book as a print book, as an ebook, as an audio book, There's a lot of people in my ecosystem, in my community that I've built relationships with now that because I've given so much value or they feel motivated or inspired will buy this book in whatever format fits them. And so that's going to be very practical for me because I've sown the seeds for those sales. I've sown those seeds, I've grown loyalty, and that's going to allow me to make the sales and make a difference in my business. And so marketing in this way is super effective, and I showed you that it doesn't have to be a devastating drain on your time. Add to that part of my coaching and consulting leverage is being a real practitioner, someone who's actually done this, someone who's used it to grow their business, someone who's used it to make money, someone who's used it to help sponsors, help clients, do all of these things. So it's reasonable for me to spend time educating myself as much as possible in these platforms, showing people that I can grow an audience there, showing people that even with smaller audiences that I can actually do bigger things or have more engagement or convert that stuff passively to income. That actually matters, and there are people who want to learn those things, and so having as many examples, showing the proof, having a body of work, that's super important. Many of you also forget that unlike many of my contemporaries, I actually had a decade in advertising and marketing in the corporate world. I actually worked a job and made other people a lot of money using these tactics and techniques and learning this stuff for years before I got to siphon 90%, 100% of the value for myself. Instead of making other people a lot of money and getting the crumbs, I now can take the whole pie. And so that is part of the difference. There are a lot of people that, and I'm not calling out any names and it's fine, I don't begrudge how anyone makes their money, but there are a lot of people who've never actually been practitioners, have never actually used this with stakes on the line, that give advice or sell products around it. There are a lot of people with less results and less of a body of work. And so I'm building the trust and credibility. I am perfectly happy to do 1,000 executions and prove that I know more about this and I am more seasoned and I am more polished than many of my contemporaries, or that I'm the right fit for you, or whatever it is, or that you like my personality better. Maybe that's it. I'm more than willing to do the work of doing those things and then cashing out later and making whatever money I am permitted to make by earning the relationship and earning your respect. And I'm more than happy to do that. There are other people that for a lot of reasons, and I don't begrudge anyone, whatever their business model or their circumstances is, want to make as much money as they can, as quickly as they can. I'm happy to make my money slow. As unreasonable as that sounds, I'm more than happy enough to make my money slow because my money is not even the game. You guys are, 26, 27 episodes in. You guys know that more than anything, a lot of what I do is because I lack the ability to time travel and fix my own stuff, so I'll help you instead because it's the next best thing. If I can't go back in time and save young Roberto a lot of grief, maybe I can help some of you who are younger, some of you who are older, live a better and happier life, not go through the years of depression and anxiety and frustration that I dealt with, because you're in a position to have the career that you want, work for a boss that doesn't suck, or build your own business and support yourself, support your family, do the things that you love every day. I would really want that for you. Social media and online digital is not the only way to market yourself, by the way. I've made it a point of using conferences and speaking engagements to connect with people face to face, look them in the eyes, hugs and handshakes instead of just hashtags. And that's made a real important difference in growing my business as well. Getting referrals, having a stronger network, all of those things are important and matter. And there are other ways that you market yourself. So that's super important. There's some of you that are still sleeping on print, and business cards actually would still be a practical investment for you. And so it's important to figure out for yourself what verticals and what type of marketing is going to be the most effective. I find that I market very well in person, and the next best thing to that is video. So that's why I take advantage of videos so much. You guys see me cranking out video after video after video. If I can't be in all places at all times, being omnipresent through video is a really effective counterbalance to that. As soon as it's even more practical, or I have more requests or companies that want to pay me to do it, I'm going to be doing live in-person workshops for the people who want me to do that. I've actually talked to some people within the education system, and they want me to come and teach real-world marketing and things like that. And that's really cool. there's been a lot of resistance to the online learning model. But it's funny because some colleges are incorporating themselves, and then they'll bring in social media experts, people like me who've been very skeptical about the current model of education, to actually counter punch to that and to speak on leveraging digital. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I still think that for some people that college fits their needs, and I've talked about that in other videos. I think that if you live in a small town and you need more opportunity, going to college in another state with more opportunity and a different culture is a win for you. If you come from an economically challenged background, going to college, having access to resources, access to a different lifestyle, huge win for you. There's so many, or if you want to work somewhere else for the next 20 or 30 years, going to college there is a great start, and that's how you're going to build the relationships that last the rest of your lifetime. College still has value, guys. I just don't agree with the price tag. That's all. Like, that's a lot of it. I won't say that's all. And I also think that sometimes what you get gets dated very quickly, because sometimes you're not getting the opportunity to learn from practitioners in the real world. So a lot of my marketing is showing you guys what I'm doing in the real world, sometimes in real time, why it works, what's effective, and you can see the results, you can track my progress. This entire YouTube channel, my website, my articles, my entire content library, in a lot of cases, is a blueprint that you guys can take, reverse engineer, not copy, reverse engineer, make it fit what works for you, throw away the stuff that doesn't, run your own race, build a workout routine, but understand also what's possible. Understand what's possible. I want you to realize that this is accessible and attainable for you guys, because most of what I do is not only very practical, it's very affordable. And I showed you that it's not just because I have more time on my hands than the overwhelming majority of you. It's not just because as a solo entrepreneur that I have all 24 hours in the day to do whatever I want. That's part of it too. But even if I didn't, I just showed you guys how I could take 1 hour out of my day and make it very effective to market for the entire week in multiple platforms. If I were only gonna focus on 3 of those platforms that fit my skills the best, then it'd be even more insane how practical that really is. So if you're somebody who does very well in video, I'd say maybe you focus on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. If you really want to do some micro video content, you can add Instagram and Twitter to that mix. And I think that that would work for you. From a networking standpoint, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and Twitter and Facebook are really effective for you for networking. Facebook groups, killer. LinkedIn groups, killer. Direct video message to people in Twitter, great. Direct video message to people in Snapchat, great. It makes people at the top very accessible and reachable for you as a everyday person trying to get some kind of value or build some kind of relationship. So those are platforms that you could dominate. You're a photographer or your skill set is visuals, you're a photographer, you're a designer. It's not about Pinterest, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's really not. It's about who are your paying clients and where are they gonna be? And reality check, LinkedIn, Facebook, those probably are gonna really matter for you. If you're visual, by the way, if you're visual, they need to get to know you and trust you. So YouTube actually is very practical for you to show your work and show your personality. More important than Instagram, Pinterest, and Snapchat. Am I saying they're unimportant? No. I'd say that for closing the deal, converting, getting customers and sales, that those other ones are more important. You want to build a brand, you want to build relationships, sure. Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, you can build the emotional connection and value there. You want to close LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, probably even Periscope. Real talk, that's what I believe 110%, no lie. And you know that's true because, well, you've seen me do it. And, you know, it's worked. I've probably, on some level, gotten a customer in every social media platform at some point, aside from Snapchat. I can almost say that with an absolute certainty. Is there a possibility that one day I will get a client from Snapchat? Maybe. I don't know. What I will use Snapchat for, and by the way, feel free to take me up on this, is from now on, if you want to ask me direct questions in the time that Snapchat allows for, send me a video message on Snapchat. Follow me on Snapchat, add me on Snapchat, then send me a video message with a question, and here's a couple of things that can happen. 1, It won't be right after Dear Entrepreneurs is finished because there's things I want to do for this. I might bring back the series that I did. I'll relaunch Ask Roberto, hashtag Ask Roberto. And what I might do is if people are sending me Snapchat video messages, I can use my app. I can download those video messages and I might be able to throw them up on screen as a question and then answer them. And it'll be one question, one answer per one video. And it will be a limited run series, so it'll be something that's a seasonal kind of thing, and it might be something where Ask Roberto is only a 30 episode a year thing, however I feel like doing it, or a 50 episode a year thing, and that's how I would do it. And if you guys want me to bring back Ask Roberto, and you want to use Snapchat to send video messages, you can do that. I'll also take questions from all of my other social media platforms, so it's an encouragement for you to engage with me in everything. You can ask me questions in Twitter if that's the platform you're on. You can go to my Facebook fan page, or you can follow me in Facebook, and you can ask questions there, and maybe I'll use them for Ask Roberto. You can jump into the Periscope live streams, and guess what? Maybe I'll answer those in Ask Roberto. So there's plenty of opportunities. Snapchat, hey, you can shoot a video on Instagram, and tag me in it, get my attention, and hashtag Ask Roberto, and maybe I'll use that, or I'll at least answer the question. So there's every opportunity in the world. Comment in the YouTube videos, hashtag Ask Roberto in your question, and I'll know that you want it to be on the show. That's another opportunity. And see what I just did there? This is a whole nother way that I'm going to market myself, build that connection, convert people, and then answering these questions gives me more range and more depth so that I'm not pigeonholed. So that can convert. That could become consulting later. That could be a pivot for more content down the road. There's any number of things I can do. So I can crowdsource content by doing a show that still creates maximum upside for me and builds out my brand more. So, that's a thing. If I wanted to, I could then hire Jason or somebody else to take all of the audio from Ask Roberto and literally make a second podcast. And then I'm not using my time to edit. I'm just repurposing content I've already done. You see there? That's another practical thing of I build systems and I use methodology to take all of these things that I'm doing in social media that some of you think are a waste of time or me overextending myself, and I make it very practical to scale my business and my goals faster, build awareness and traction in the long game of not only creating relationships, creating legacy value, creating opportunities for sponsors and speaking and writing and consulting and coaching and all these other things, but then also for me to have a better depth of understanding of the community, to have a better depth as a businessman of understanding other people's problems and businesses, taking that empathy and using it to hack and grow myself. This is an investment in me as a human being, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, and as, somebody who is hopefully motivating and inspiring this community of creative professionals, creative students, creative enthusiasts, and creative entrepreneurs. So now you have a better understanding of the context of why I'm doing this, why it's not me stretching myself thin, while it's not me overextending. And by the way, I've got one more really killer tip about this for you. So consider this one other angle. I'm a solo entrepreneur right now that only on occasion hires out work for very specific things. Consider that over the course of the next year, I'm going to be hiring an assistant. I'm going to have a virtual assistant, probably mostly full-time or half-time, depending on, because I don't think I have 40 hours a week to give somebody. So I'm not going to have someone paid to twiddle their thumbs. I'll figure it out. But consider that I will have a physical assistant, I will have a virtual assistant, and next year I will have a physical assistant, video editor, and video production person. Okay, then consider that I will probably also have two remote video editors, which will probably be Jason and Melissa. Okay, I will have a team and I will have infrastructure. Consider that I will also probably have somebody that takes over doing my social media graphics. I will post all my social media myself and be 110% authentic, but then all the inspirational Instagram quotes that I've ever said will be turned into memes and something by somebody else that is hired to do that as a freelancer and to crank those out using photo assets and images and things that I take from my travels and that the team puts together. And so I will have an infrastructure and system. Because I've been doing all of this so long myself, I'm still the most equipped and best person to do it, which means all the strategy will be cloned from the top from me as a practitioner, which means that something happens to my vendor, I'm not screwed for the 30 days of replacing them because I can do it myself and I'm smart enough to do it. And I figured it out and I haven't relied on them. So that matters to me as a practitioner that, okay, someone can't edit the videos, cool, I'll do it because I'm still faster than whoever's editing my videos, probably. There's probably a 90% chance that because I've done 1,000 videos plus that I might be faster than them. So I'm more than happy to learn and get my hands dirty and do all this stuff so that when I move to doing more of the cloud stuff, as Gary would say, that there's still no way that if push came to shove, I can't get my hands dirty, get right back in the dirt, get back to work and outwork anyone on my staff and my team because I'm gonna care more about my business than them. So I'm not gonna put myself in a position to where it's get all these people. Look, I've worked for people that if I didn't show up to work or I got hit by a bus, they were screwed, okay? And when I ultimately left their business, like it didn't go well and like none of my replacements, to be honest, were any better. So, you know, that is a reality as a business person is there are things that you should absolutely probably not quarterback if you're not good at them. But if you are good at them and you get to a point to where you can let them go, which is where I'm at now, at the end of the day, you're gonna have the temptation to pick them back up again. And if you're good enough and if you're the best, then it's really great that one day, if God forbid, one of your employees struck by lightning, you're not screwed because you'll just, oh, I'll do it. And I know exactly how, and I know how all this stuff works. So at the end of the day, when I'm farming out stuff, if people say no, or the budget's not right, or people have to be let go, or, you know, I keep using car accident, like, you know, like let's use something else. I keep using car accident and lightning. You know, Kylo Ren strikes them down. Let's go with that. So if Kylo Ren, you know, comes up and strikes them down, then at the end of the day, I'm like, no, the force is still strong with me, so we're good to go, right? And really, I say all that to say, be patient. Be willing to put in the work, be willing to put in the time that it takes to understand the ins and outs of your business because no one's gonna care more about your business than you do. So it's important that you have all the skills, or at least the majority of them, for whatever your operation capacity is, whatever your marketing is, whatever your message is, that you be able to be the champion of your brand more than anybody else for as long as possible or whenever possible. And that's just how I feel about it. There are plenty of people that their thing is they're all about outsourcing and they're all about, you know, running the business and being the operator and being the leader, and that's fine, and I take nothing away from them, and for some people that is the right answer. But if you're watching this, the odds are that you resonate with me, you have a lot in common with me, and there's a lot more that you can still do all by yourself, or that you should farm out the things that you're not good at, and the things that you're the best at, that you're faster, you shouldn't be trying to take those things off your plate. If you are the fastest, the best, and the most talented at what you do right now, out of all the people that you know or can put your hands on or that you could pay, you should keep doing that and get rid of all the stuff that you're not good at first, or that doesn't make sense. What I take off my plate, I don't mow my lawn. I pay people to do that. I farm that out. Kids do that. They make their money and they invest in themselves, and I'm really happy to contribute to that. I'm getting ready to farm out graphics for Instagram and social media because I don't really need to do that anymore. I don't need the vanity of the graphic design thing. I did billboards already for Times Square and big brands. I don't need the vanity of, oh, I did all the graphics myself. I don't need that anymore. I need to build products that serve you guys. I need to get this membership group up and running that serves you guys. I need to spend more time in the Create Awesome community than doing things that only give me a story of a little bit of vanity and doing it myself. I don't need that. I need to be a better leader to you guys in the community. I need to serve you more. I need to do the things that I'm a 90 or a 100 at, and I can drop the things that I'm a 70 at real quick, and that's just what I'm gonna do. And so guys, that is a little bit of the behind the scenes of how I market, what my strategy is, what my thoughts on it are, how you can reverse engineer that for yourself, some real tactical stuff there. A lot of this was about like my inside systems, but a lot of you have been questioning it. A lot of you have been questioning and challenging whether it's practical, whether I'm spread too thin, and now I think you have a better understanding of where I'm coming from and why this works for me. But I would say, just do you. Every single time. This is what works for me. Take it or leave it. However it helps you, great. And if it doesn't work for you, I hope it helped you figure your own thing out more than anything. So that's it, you guys. We've only got maybe like, what, 3-4 episodes left of the series before season 1's over until August. So I still owe you guys a rant on taxes. You know what, I'll be honest, I'm going to scrap that one. I will save my rant on taxes for a vlog after Dear Entrepreneurs because I want to give you guys more value. So instead, I will find something else. I will probably talk about time management one more time and being super productive and efficient. I will probably do another thing on lifestyle and health. Guys, tell me in the comment section, these last couple episodes, what are you really looking for? What can I help you the most with that I haven't, discussed already? Let's talk about that in the comment section. Let me know what you guys need. Anyway, thanks you guys so much for watching, Dear Entrepreneurs. Please share the series with friends. We're coming to a close here. The series will return in August. I've really enjoyed it. So guys, continue to share it, continue to comment and give me feedback. And of course, just remember, create something awesome today. Take care.